This that official Deuce Block Kingpin shit. You know that's right, big nuts. Oh nah. How we drill, it's only 24s or better. And when we ride out, baby, we gon' roll together. It's how we drill. We get loads of cheddar iced up, and in case it pops off, homie, it's forever. How we drill, it's only 24s or better. And when we ride out, baby, we gon' roll together. It's how we drill. We get loads of cheddar iced up, and in case it pops off, homie.
What's happening? My name's Mike Owens, aka Big Balls. Been doing this rap shit for about 20 years. For me, it's a lot more than just rap music, though. I consider myself a true artist. I touch on a little bit of everything, every genre of music. I actually love to play the instruments. That was my first passion, was, playing the instruments and things like that.
On April 26, 1971, Michael Robert Owens, a.k.a. Big Balls, was born in Massillon, Ohio. His mother was Rita L. Warner. His father was Dean Masters Owens. His mother and father split up when he was 2 years old, so he spent the first 8 years of his life out in the stick, being raised by his mother and his grandparents. His uncle John Warner was still a kid at the time and played a big influence in Mike's passion for music in his early years. By the time Mike was 10, him and his mother had moved in with her sister Karen and her 5 boys. Their names were Bruce, Mark, Scott, Greg, and Eric. They all had love for each other like brothers. But Mike and Scott were the same age, wore the same clothes, and watched each other's back. They even had to sleep in the same bed till they were 15. They never had much, and they fought for everything they did have. When they were 19, they got their own place. Within a year's time of being out on their own, Scott ended up getting shot outside of their apartment, 3 times in the chest and twice in the back with a 12-gauge shotgun. It was 5 a.m. and he walked up a flight of steps, woke Balls up out of bed, and basically died in his arms. The last words that Scott Allen Bash ever said was, "Help me, Mike, help me, Mike."
I've been all the way down in this, in this game. I've had my cousin, my best friend, shot and died in my arms when I was 19. Played a big role in my life and, the decisions I made. This was a lot of bad ones. Overall, it's helped me realize everything happens for a reason, Came to a realization with myself and just everything around me and the people around me, how much they mean to me. It's been a long road travel, that has, but finally that's out of my life and doesn't play such a big role in my life. It was hard when it happened, though. I watched my cousin get shot. Didn't actually watch it. He walked up a flight of steps after he got shot and died in my arms. Last words he ever said was, "Help me, Mike." It was a traumatic experience, but I made it through that.
After his cousin's murder, Balls permanently borrowed a truck and headed down south to Florida. He lived on his own for 2 years. He started using cocaine and other drugs, trying to get away from what happened to Scott. But being away from his loved ones proved to be too much. So when Scott's younger brother Greg came to visit him, he came home. When he got home, he met his first wife. Her name was Janet Dobbins. She had 2 kids. Their names were Josh and Brandy. Music was becoming a much bigger aspiration at the time. He was writing and recording much more. His relationship with his first wife crumbled within a year and a half, and this was the turning point and the very first time when Balls decided to put music first. But drugs were still secretly a part of his life.
I've worked with a lot of cats in this area.
Truthfully, there ain't a cat in this area in Canton, Ohio that raps that wasn't influenced by Big Balls or mentored in some way by Big Balls. He's had a lot of cats under his wing. He is, he's the godfather.
Hey, y'all, buddy, they call that nigga Santa Claus, dude. I think it was like one night, about 9, 10 of us, a bunch of us, we was all kicking in and shit. And he came through, and we was all on acid. I guess we shouldn't say that, but we was all fucked up, you know what I'm saying? And this guy came with the Santa Claus hat, and we had like a really great night that night. We went all through the hoods of the Milk, you know, the Milk's M-Town, Massillon, Ohio, repping the always dying. For real, don't get it twisted, Massillon. Anyway, we rolled all through the hood, man, got love everywhere we went, had mad fun that night, just had a real good time. This nigga had his Santa Claus hat on all night. So like every time we see him, that nigga was... But the dude went from Santa Claus to Santa Balls, and then just the balls and the big balls. You know, because that nigga's a boss, man.
Within a few months, Balls started a new relationship with the girl who is his wife now, Angela Kaufman. And he has also started his first well-known rap group. They were called Another Breed. The group consisted of Ron Yoho, Ray Bertram, Big Balls, and the youngest of Scott's brothers, Eric Bash. This was also the spark which caused Balls to create Paleface Productions, which has led to a worldwide movement for white rappers across America and the world. It's called Paleface.
Here we go. What you gonna do when you're on your back? And what I mean by the you whack. I'm like, what the heck? All suns too, sitting on my neck. Where's the rest? Straight from the WWE, that's what's WC. When you face the man a mystery, he can spin and doing it fast. You can't remove the mask. Why? Cause he's kicking you. Who's that jumping out?
Man, let me tell you something. We was sitting up, me, him, and another homie, Daryl. We was sitting up probably, it was about 3 in the morning, so after the bars and closed, and we was up just kicking it and shit. And I don't know if we was getting ready to go out. But my man Balls pulled out an acoustic guitar, one of them wooden joints. Started strumming that baby like Carlos Santana or some shit. You know what I mean? We was kids. We was like 19 years old, you know. And then when it really blew my wig, this cat sang Babyface song, Where Will You Go? When that cat sang that song, I knew right then if I had any money, at that point, if I had money, I would put it all on him because he was young, talented, and gifted, and destined to be motherfucking great. That's real talk right there, a real chop.
When it comes to music, I mean, you can put anything in the man's hands, and he'll just make it work to the max of his potential.
I'd also like to state, in Balls' teen years, his first son was born. His name is Jonathan Michael Gatchell. And over the last 12 years has conceived 3 boys, Derek, Clay, and Tyler, with his new wife. Balls grew up without his father, so staying close to his children has always been a big priority in his life. Family is no doubt the most important thing to Balls.
I hear voices in my head, they count to me, they understand, they talk to me,
Right now I'm involved in working on one of my final rap albums. You know, I still have a love for music, I always have a passion for music, I always do music. I'm 37 years old. I don't feel that old. I feel like I'm 67. I've experienced everything you can possibly experience when it comes to music. I've experienced everything you could possibly experience when it comes to life and living and love and family. I worked with a lot of the local guys, you know, worked with a lot of national artists, everybody from Baby, Lil Wayne, Cash Money, BG, you know, Lazy Bone, Sticky Fingers, Looney Coleon, Big Hawk, Little Troy's Clique, you know, even released a national like gospel R&B song on my own. Probably wrote 5,000 songs in my life.
Yo, John, start that track up.
Over the last 12 years, Balls has worked with such artists as Baby Brian Williams, Lil Wayne, and BG of Cash Money. He's worked with West Coast great Looney Coleon, East Coast Sticky Fingers, Down South Underground legend Big Hawk, and Cleveland's own Lazy Bone. He's featured on albums with the likes of Big Pun, Tupac, and tons more. Still never achieving true stardom in the world's eyes, Balls feels as though he has. Balls has been able to be the envy of every rapper and artist. Not only is he an underground legend in the streets and in music, he is an above-ground father and friend for his wife and children.
Fools get slain every day for they change.
Just 2 years ago, Balls was working with his agent Paul Monet, the creator of Tybo and the Clicker. Balls and G Money have been working in California with DJ Quick's producer G1 and West Coast Customs. But needless to say, the project was cut short when his agent Paul was arrested with a $21 million drug laundering charge. At this point, Balls thought it was all over. He was still secretly using drugs all the time, and it was ruining his life with Angie and his life at home too. At that moment, Balls was blessed with the opportunity to perform and speak at a convention for victims of families who have dealt with murder.
I walk for miles inside this pit of danger, place where no one follows me. I walk alone.
You know, I mean, just a couple of years ago, we were out in Cali working on this project out there. We got the privilege to meet a guy by the name of Paul Monet, who was Balls' agent, was my agent. Ran into some bullshit, some real made-for-TV type stuff, you know, some real stuff that you'd be like, wow, that really doesn't happen in the real world. But, you know, when you're in the world that dude was in, you know, real is completely different, you know. Reality in his life is not reality in your life. So when you see the kind of shit that happens in the movies, you better believe that shit happens on a daily basis.
You ask me, man, he one of the most truly blessed individuals around here. You know, every now and then people was lucky enough to run across them individuals and be able to click with them in the same way because music, that's what we doing. Deuce Block Entertainment and Balls is just musically gifted, man. He's blessed from God.
Yo, my name is G Money, a.k.a. Balls Apprentice. I'm the dude. I'm that dude, you know. You gotta watch out for Big Balls. That's the man. He's the godfather of this fucking rap shit. PFP, Paleface Players, People for People, however you want to call it. I mean, that don't get no realer than Balls.
There's a lot of haters out here still. People like to hate. I just keep my head up and move on. You know, I laugh at them haters. I ain't got nothing on me and what I done created in my life. You know what I'm saying? For myself. And, you know, it's just like anybody. And anybody that feels like me, I feel like I've touched it. I've been there, you know. The things I've done for me are enough. You know, I got to keep my family safe and close through all of it, so that was a big part of it. And, you know, I hope this documentary answers a lot of your questions. You know, plain and simple, I hope when this is over with, you understand me. You know what I'm about to do and what I have accomplished, or at least some of the things I've accomplished. And so what you might know where to look, and if you're interested in a little bit more, and you know, might be able to find something to dig a little bit deeper, maybe some music, maybe a book I'm working on, maybe a movie script or a movie that I'm working on. You know, it seems petty right now, but I'll let you know, I'm on my way, believe me. This is something I've been doing for a long time, and I'm well respected, and I think I earned that. So I just want to say to all my homies, you know, to my family, you know, to my mama, you know, to God, you know, one love. You know, I appreciate everything. You know, keep it real.
Balls thought nothing of it at the time, but when he arrived to do the show, there were 600 to 700 victims that had dealt with the same thing he had. Balls was the last one to speak. He told his whole story, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and stated that this would be the night he would change forever. Then Balls sang his song he had wrote for his cousin. It's called Not Here Now, and brought himself, the cameramen, and the news reporters, and all 600 plus people to tears. It featured on the news that night and on the front page of the newspaper the next morning. It stated, Michael Owens, 36 of Massillon, brings Malone College to tears Monday night, singing the song in response to his cousin's murder 17 years ago. Balls has been free of addiction from this moment also. He's found a new outlook on life, and 9 months later I finally got to make it official, and I got to marry the man of my dreams. I'm not only the narrator, but I'm also his present wife, Angie. And I'd like to personally say, aside from being an incredible friend and an incredible father, he has taught me a lot about life and love. He is unlike any other man. there is something about Mike which is truly godlike. It's in his appearance and it's in his swagger. His aura is huge and you can feel it whenever you're in his presence. If anyone that I know has truly been touched by the hand of God, it's Michael Robert Owens, aka Big Balls.
Hanging out after school, smoking cigarettes, playing pool. Man, we were so damn cool. But it's funny how things change since you ain't been around.
Inside his portfolio, he got 5 different genres. I mean, he's across the board. This is what is great about this guy. He can go country, he can go hardcore hip hop, he can go soft rock, he can sing your girl's panties right up off of her. You know, he can harmonize, man. He can shit. I can't think of a genre that he hasn't touched. I want to send a shout out, man, to all the homies in the milk, man. You know what I'm saying? All my true OGs, you know what I'm saying?
We ain't forgot about you.
I ain't never gonna forget about you nigga where the motherfucker come from. Word. That's real chop. Anyway, man, KP, TP, all KPs, 3 KPs, TP, you know, King Dog, motherfucking, shit, all my motherfucking homies, man. KC, TC, also known as Hell Rail.
I remember the first time I met Big Balls. I was 17 years old, and it was Catholic church. He was a minister. He asked me to stay after Mass, and we went over and we sung Psalms behind the curtain. That's what he called them. Yeah. Come back at you, G-Money, a.k.a. Jungle Jim, a.k.a. Hold Your Girl's Hand Tight, Hope Your Mom Ain't Home. Working on my own album right now. Got my dude Big Balls producing a couple tracks. My dude Jody Daniels from the Real Fat Media Group. Billy